Hello and welcome to Pisgah Health Today. My name is Angela Owen. It's my privilege to host this program brought to you by the Pisgah Health Foundation. The Pisgah Health Foundation is a public 501c3 charity founded in 2019 by a board of 7 caring individuals committed to improving the health, wellness, and lives of Western North Carolina residents. Our special guest today is Amy Cantrell. She is the co-director of BeLoved Asheville. Welcome to our program today, Amy.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here and so excited to be a part of the family at Pisgah Health Foundation and all of the amazing things that are happening as we all connect together to really lift the health of our whole region and be community in that way so that we really create a holistic solution to our health struggles. And I love that the Pisgah Health Foundation is so intricately a part of that and wants to be a part of our stories as we're on the ground doing this work. So thank you for inviting me.
Of course, your passion is already evident in just those first few words there, Amy. Let me just say a little bit so our viewers could get to know you just a little bit. Amy is, she's been building community with people in Asheville and in Western North Carolina for over 25 years. Her heart is in bringing people together. She's a busy mom of twin 6-year-olds, and you actually helped to be the founder, one of the founders of BeLoved Asheville. So
That's right.
a great, rich history there. Why don't you start by just telling our viewers a little bit, what is BeLoved Asheville?
Yes, a lot of people will just say BeLoved's my family. We really work to build that connective tissue that we call community that is so very important. And this really goes back to, what a lot of us will think about our grandparents and great-grandparents doing is really connecting to one another, lifting each other up as neighbors. We try to put into practice what it means to love our neighbors. Our mission is to cultivate a transformational way of life that is rooted in creativity, community, and equity. And our goal is that we want to build home, health, and opportunity for all in our community in Western North Carolina region. And so that means we do a lot of different things, and it's really exciting to see. We bring really people together from all walks of life to do this kind of solution work. We try to really tackle some of the toughest challenges of our day, including systemic racism, homelessness, housing, and food insecurity. And so all of that work really stems out of the heart of community, that it's about people, and it's about building the relationships that we have and the ways that we can use our skills and gifts in unique ways to help support each other and to create innovative solutions to these toughest challenges of our time.
Wow, you have a ton of great things in there.
It's really exciting. I feel like I'm on the front row in a lot of really powerful solutions that are really emerging. We spend a lot of time sitting in circles with people that are living through a lot of these particular struggles that I named, people that are going through the housing crisis or people that are food insecure. And these are people that we know, by first name. That's really where it starts, is knowing each other. And as we know each other, we begin to talk about our common struggles. We believe that in Western North Carolina, that we're very diverse, that we have a lot of common struggles and a lot of common dreams. And when we talk about that in a circle and we begin to all work together, we can do some really amazing things. And so we're doing a couple of things that are national models now, and we're really excited about bringing those to the region and even beyond.
Creating family and doing it in a national model way. That's quite unique there, Amy. Tell us a little bit about the grant that you received from Pisgah Health Foundation. How is that specifically going to help you serve Western North Carolina residents?
Yes, absolutely. Well, back in 2016, in October, there was a woman that froze to death on the streets of Asheville, and it broke our hearts. She was Jane Doe 246 for 5 days. The police knocked on our door and asked if we would identify her body. And so that really started us on this journey. It's one of the things that we know is that we lose people oftentimes because of homelessness related health concerns and struggles. And so really Janet's death was a real precipitating event for us. we knew her as our sister Janet Jones, and so we really began to say, what is this calling us to do in the wake of this tragedy? We had begun a circle of people living through the housing crisis, people that were either homeless or housing insecure. And it was in that circle that, and in the wake of Janet's death, that we began to talk about maybe we're part of the solution. What is it that we can do together? And we really began to say, what are the particular concerns that really led to this awful tragedy? The first being that folks do have these health challenges that get really exacerbated by homelessness. And so a lot of people began to say, we're the closest people to each other in a medical emergency. And so what if we could know what to do? And that really conversation births our first in the nation homeless street medic team. They train with EMTs and nurses and doctors, and then medic in the homeless community. And this is really an exciting thing as folks are really learning these skills and literally go on rounds out on the street with paramedic bags. And now we have a medic van. And so we're able to really care for the health of folks when they're sort of on the other side of the doctor's office door. We run into a lot of people that really aren't connected into our healthcare systems that we have, and we have some really wonderful resources here in Western North Carolina for our health. But often, there's the door out and, out into the community. And so we want to bridge that gap there. And so we go out to where people are. And if that wasn't enough, we kept coming back in conversation. And the other thing people said is we can't afford affordable housing. And we said, well, what does that mean? And we kept kind of plumbing the depths of that conversation. It launched us on a year-long research into sort of what the housing crisis looked like here in Asheville and in Western North Carolina, and indeed the nation. As you know, that folks throughout the nation really are struggling. We have an affordable housing crisis literally in every county in the nation. And the crisis looks slightly different depending on where you are. And so we wanted to know, what did the crisis look like in macro, and what did the crisis look like in its particular ways that it sort of unfolded in this region. And also hearing the stories of people that were living it. And so we were sort of looking at it from every angle. And what we did was we began to isolate this gap and we began to say we need deeply affordable housing for people that fall into the sort of lowest income bracket, around 30% area median income. And so we said, what if we could build something? No one was building really in that gap. And we said, what would that look like? And the other conversation that people said is often the housing that we get put into or find is not the kind of housing that we want. And so we said, what does that mean? And we began in this circle again to talk about what that means. And so folks said, we want a home that looks like a home. We want land and trees. We want to live around neighbors that care for one another. Sounds very familiar to a lot of what all of us want, right? Is that dignity, that place that's safe and where I can, let my hair down and be myself. And it has, the necessities. And then folks said, we really want it to be close to public transit, close to healthcare, childcare, job opportunities, educational opportunities. And so that began to be the goal, this dream that we hatched, to build deeply affordable houses that were community oriented, sustainable. And then we said, we don't want people to be housed into poverty forever, because that's how this housing crisis continues, is that insecurity piece of it. So what if we could build equity at that deeply affordable level so that people are lifting themselves out of poverty via their housing? And so that became the challenge. We said, what if we could do this? And it sent us on this journey, which we can get into more of the story. But one of those, one part of the journey was that Pisgah Health Foundation embraced this vision to bring this new national model, this innovation in housing to our region, and for us to actually try to build this first village, and then also help other people in other counties throughout Western North Carolina to see what this would look like for them, and to help them to bring deeply affordable housing with equity to other places in the region. And so that's the dream and vision. It's coming true right outside this door.
I know
So
you have a big milestone just outside the door. Tell us about that, Amy.
a big milestone. We have built the first model home in our BeLoved village. So the village itself has 12 homes in this first village on about an acre of land. And we decided we would build a model home first, and the community has come together in such an incredible way. And so we are in the final days. Tomorrow we think we will have the lights on and have it all furnished and ready for folks to see. And so we're really excited about that. I feel like I should pitch a tent outside here, because I've been here night and day. We've been working around the clock. We had painters, professional painters, who literally came after work and have had dinner here and worked into the wee hours. They came last night at 10 o'clock to finish the floors. Arbor Zen, who was our donated hardwood floors for this house. So it's absolutely beautiful. And what I will say is that that was part of the challenge, is we wanted to build a model of homes that literally every neighborhood we hope in the region is going to say, come build this here, because it's beautiful. And it's part of the fabric of the neighborhood. We had a wonderful architect team at Wilson Architects who designed these beautiful homes to really fit into the fabric of the neighborhood, and really be inviting, and to create a space where other neighbors around it would say, oh, this is a wonderful addition to our neighborhood, and these are going to be wonderful neighbors. And so that is also part of the challenge. As you may be aware, there's a lot of situations with affordable housing that people say, not in my backyard, or what we call NIMBY. And so we really said, what if we could also overcome that as we're building this model? And so we hope that we've done something, we've achieved something that is beautiful and dignified, and also deeply affordable for our neighbors in need.
Congratulations on the milestone. I can't wait to see photos, and then actually come and see that place myself someday. It sounds like so many pieces. I've heard you talk about family. I've heard you reference dignity. You've talked a lot about conversations and listening to people and understanding what their needs are, what their desires are. You've talked about bringing solutions to the table, and how to help to really lift people through. So many great things that are happening. Tell our viewers, what else would you like for them to know? How can they support? How can they get involved and come alongside what you and your team at BeLoved Asheville are doing?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. One of the things I would love to say as we're talking about health is, we know that housing is health, that so many of us, home provides protection. It provides the place where we relax, and we know stress exacerbates our health. Also, if we're in a home that is not a home that is well built and is safe, we know that affects our health, because a lot of us, there are toxins that can be a part of homes that are not well kept, mold and things like that can really impact our health. Or if we're living on the streets, that has an incredible impact on the body. It literally wears the body out. Homeless people live on average between 42 and 52 years of age, and so some 30 years off the national average. And so that tells you how housing and healthcare really go together. And then so many of the other words that you talked about, family and community and conversations. We say everybody needs to belong and have purpose, and we know that impacts our mental and emotional health, which impacts our physical health. So much of what we're doing here is really foundationed on health and the social determinants of health. In fact, we had students in the master's program at Mayheck who really were studying the healthcare implications of a village like that. And we'll be following our first residents to see how homes like this and a village model like this impacts people's health. which is really incredible. But going back to what you were saying about people being able to be engaged in something like this, I've been thinking over the last few days, and we believe that thousands of people literally have touched this first home and helped bring it into being, from 3-year-olds to elders. It's been an incredible gift to watch the community come together. I was digging a drainage ditch with a 4-year-old the other day, and if you've ever, dug a drainage ditch, it's not the most exciting thing to do. And he was saying, "Oh, we're looking for treasure. We're digging for dinosaur bones." And I had so much fun just doing this. And that's what I would say, is there's so much joy when the community comes together. Some folks will remember the old barn raisings and things like that, and it's much like this. It's all our neighbors coming with whatever gift that they have to offer, and everyone has a gift to share, whether you're incredibly skilled. So we had roofers that came to offer their skill. We have general contractors that are offering their skill, and civil engineers, down to these 3- and 4-year-olds that are lifting shovels and learning. We've been in schools. We've been teaching about this model, particularly before the pandemic, in schools. And we really want, children to grow up with the understanding that everyone deserves a home, and that's part, and home and community are part of the deep fabric of our lives, and indeed the health of our overall community are really impacted by whether or not all of our neighbors have a place to live and call home. And so that's a big part of our work here. And so we certainly would invite folks to get engaged and connect. Sharing land. Land is a large cost of building deeply affordable housing. So we were very joy-filled to have a faith community say, we have an extra acre of land that we will probably never use, and we deeply care about affordable housing and about our neighbors. And they heard about our dream, and they said, we'd like to talk about your dream and share this acre of land. And so that really began to catapult this project into reality.
Well, congratulations again on being a catalyst and bringing together so many incredible resources. And I love the story of being out there with a little one hunting for treasure while you're digging that drainage ditch along the way. So, Amy, thank you so much for the work that you and BeLoved Asheville, on behalf of the Board of Directors at Pisgah Health Foundation, we certainly thank you for the leadership that you're providing and for the solutions that you're bringing to Western North Carolina residents to help them be healthier and stronger and live longer, better lives. So thank you so very much for all that you're doing.
Well, it's indeed our honor, and we want to give great gratitude to the Pisgah Health Foundation for supporting this dream and vision, and believing that indeed we need to create a home and community so that we are all healthier. And we're so excited about the opportunity to build this first village. We hope to build many villages. We like to say we're building a recipe to build villages right now, and that recipe is about literally community. All of this is about community-driven work from the heart for our neighbors. And the Pisgah Health Foundation is such a good neighbor and has been a deep part of the heart of this. And we're so excited, that you all have come on board to help us not only build this so people can see that it can be done, but help us to coach other people in the region about how to do it in their own backyards. And we're real excited about how that's going to change the housing crisis, both in Western North Carolina and indeed throughout the nation.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pretty special recipe indeed. And we're super excited to have some part to play in that along the way. Thank you again, Amy. Thank you for being here. We also want to thank Wildflower Media for their technical and creative support in bringing this program to our viewers. In addition, we want to thank the Board of Directors and the staff at Pisgah Health Foundation, as well as the Physicians Roundtable, for so many of the amazing people who are doing great things to help bring health and wellness to the lives of Western North Carolina residents. Until we see you on the next Pisgah Health Today, stay well and be well.